If you like my content, please like and click on the subscribe button. Click on the drop down and select all to see regular updates.
Greetings everyone, welcome back to my channel Data Sculptor. Today we are going to see another interesting SQL question. So we have a table called journey where we have the passenger name, the start point and the end point. So here if you see there are details of 6 passengers and each and every passenger the start and end point we have. So the journey is from A, first the bus will start from A, then it will go to B, then it will go to C and then it will go to D and then E. From A, B, C, D, E, N. This is the order of the journey and this is the start and end point for each and every customer. So if you see this is the output for each and every city you have some count over here. So just try to understand what is the logic behind it, and if you are able to understand what is the logic or if you are able to understand what is the question, try to solve it on your own, and if you are not able to solve it on your own, watch the video till the end. I have solved this problem using 2 solutions so that it will be helpful for you, and if you have any questions you can ask in the comments, and if you have a solution you can post it in the comments so that others will learn from that. So now let's go back to SQL Server Studio and see how to solve this using SQL. So here the question is, at the start of every station you need to find the total number of seats that are vacant in the vehicle. So example, if you see Alice has boarded at A and Bob has boarded at B, Charlie at C, David at A, John at B and Kevin at C. So assume for this question purpose, let's understand that the vehicle has only 5 seats. Okay, so here if you see Alice has started at A and David has started at A. So that means from the starting point A only 2 seats are full. That means out of 5 2 seats are full. So the vacant seats are 3. Similarly here for B, city B, Bob has started from B and Alice is already traveling from A, and because his endpoint is B, so he's already traveling, so his endpoint is at D, so he's already traveling at B. So Alice is occupied one seat at B, Bob has occupied, Charlie did not occupy, David also occupied, John also occupied. So if you see 4 seats are booked, out of 5 4 are booked, so B, 1 vacant seat is there. And similarly for C and D also you have to calculate. E you will not find any seats vacant because the train has ended at E, I mean the vehicle has ended at E. So from E all the seats will be available, so we should not show those seats. So before, I hope you understood the question here. So before solving the question using SQL, I'll try to explain you the approach that I'm following. So this is the input table, and I have created a table with the order and city so that A, B, C, D and E, this is the order, the vehicle which passes. So what I have done, so first I have created this table where the name is there and column start and end are there. So here start is at A and end is at D. So I have replaced this A and D with this order value. So A's order value is 1 and D's order value is 4. So start is at 1 and end is at 4. So for each and every passenger I have created this temporary table. Okay. So now what I have done, I have created this one more table. So based on this input table, so since Alice is traveling from 1 to 4, so I have created 3 rows where Alice starts from 1 ends at 2 and again starts at 2 and ends at 3 and again starts at 3 and ends at 4. Since so from 1 to 4 whatever stations he is covering, I am making sure that I am adding all the entries. So from 1 to 4 it is 1 to 2, 2 to 3 and 3 to 4, and Bob is traveling from 2 to 4. So Bob's entries will be 2 to 3 and 3 to 4. Charlie is just 3 to 4, so only one entry will be there. And for David it is 1 to 3, so 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. Like that for each and every passenger I have created these entries. Okay. So now what I will do is for every city I will see the count of STs. Okay. So here if you see if I order this by smallest to largest, so if you see at point 1, I mean the order 1, only 2 seats are there. So out of the 5, 2 are there. So 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay. And again for this value 2. So here if you see the city starting point is 2, right? So here 4 entries are there. So 5 minus 4 is 1. So 1. And for C, which is city C, and the value is 3. So if you see 3, there are 5 entries here. So 5 seats are full here. So all the 5 seats are occupied, and out of the 5 seats, all the 5 seats are occupied. So 0 seats are available. and for John, I mean sir, for 4 only 2 seats are booked. So from out of 5 2 are booked, so 3 are available. So in this way, this is the logic we will be using, or this is the algorithm which we will be using to solve. So now let's go to SQL Server Studio and see how to solve this using SQL. So now as discussed, these are the input tables, and if you want to practice, you can get this DML script and DDL script in the description of this video. So you can copy that and practice on your own. So as we discussed, so these are the input tables, so journey and trip. So now let's replace these A and D values with the order values. So how do we do it? We do it with the simple left joins. So select from journey J, left join trip T1 on J dot start is equal to T1 dot city, left join trip T2 on J dot end is equal to T2 dot city. Okay. So now if you see start and end are keywords, so let's keep it in this brackets. Okay. So now let's write a select star and see what is the output. So if you see, this is the output, but I just want the order column. So J dot name comma T1 dot order as ST comma T2 dot order as ED. Okay. So if you see this, we have replaced. Now let's keep this in a CTE with CTE underscore journey as this. Okay. Now as we have seen, so since Alice is traveling from 1 to 4, we have to make multiple entries. So from 1 to 2, 2 to 3 and 3 to 4. Okay. So how do we do that? How do we split our one row to multiple rows? We will use this, we will retrieve this using a recursive CTE. Okay. Comma CTE underscore details. Okay, let's create a recursive CTE from this CTE as. Okay, so as we know, for recursive CTE we need an anchor element. So select from CTE underscore journey, and here it is name comma ST. So this is the column name is ST, right? So ST comma ED. Okay. So here if we see ST comma ED, we are getting the So ST comma ED is basically this CTE we will get. So here simply here 1 and 4 we will get. But what I will do is first I will increment so from S1 to 4, right? So what I will do, so instead of ED I will keep this column name as ST plus 1. Okay. So for Alice it will be 1 and 2, and for Bob it will be 2 and 3, and Charlie it will be 3 and 4. So, okay. So now we have to do a union all, select from CTE underscore details. Okay. So here it will be name comma, so 1 and 2 we will get, right? So next row should be 2 and 3. So what I will do is so I'll keep this as ED. Okay. So ST plus 1 comma ED plus 1. Okay. So we have written the CT. Now we have to write a breaking condition. So the CT should break somewhere, so we need to write a condition. So A. So how do we write the condition? So inner join, or let's use the left join on the journey. So on this journey table we will do a left join B on A dot. So how we will break is, we will make sure that 1 to 4, right? So 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Again it should not go from 4 to 5, right? So the 4 to 5 row should not come. So that means here this ST dot 1, this ST dot 1 value should be less than the journey. So journey, not journey, this CTE journey. Okay. So here this ST dot 1 value should be less than the end point. So here less than ED. Okay. So now let's run and see if we are getting the correct required output. Okay, here it is b dot ed, and here it is a dot ed plus 1, a dot ed plus 1, and a dot name. Okay, so now let's run and see if we are getting the required output. So outer join is not allowed in the recursive part. Outer join, where have we used outer join? So let's use inner join only here. Okay, so if you see, let's sort this by name so that we will get more clarity. Order by 1. So Alice is going from 1 to 4, right? So we are getting wrong. 2 to 3 only we are getting it multiple times. We are getting 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and all lot of duplicate rows are coming. So this is something wrong in this. So what is wrong here? ST. So let's do one thing. So now let's comment this part, okay, and see what is the issue here. So just write from CT journey. So if you see 1 to 2 we are getting. So now we have to add one from 1 to 2 we have to add one increment. So increment 1, right? So 1 to 2 means here we are incrementing 2 and 3 it has come, and a dot st dot 1 I think here it is not greater than, okay, let's okay, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 will come, 3 and 4 is coming, 4 to 5 should not come. We are getting duplicate entries here. Okay, so now let's keep, say instead of star, let's keep distinct star. Okay, so here if you see for Alice, we are getting 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 5. So here 4 to 5 the condition is not working well, like so we want only till 3 to 4, right? 4 to 5 should not come. So 4, that means this 4 should be less than b dot ed. So here b dot ed is nothing but this CT journey, right? Okay, so b dot ed something is wrong here, some breaking condition is wrong here. So 4 to 5 as a row should not come, only till 3 to 4 it should come. So some breaking condition is missing. So 3 to 4, a dot st plus 1 is 4, and okay, let's do one thing, let's yeah, so let's run this together. Okay, so if you run this you are getting this, right? So and if you join CT journey on this, so let's see what is the mistake here. So left join CT journey B. Okay, on, okay, I forgot to join it on name. We have to join it on name also, so that is the issue, I guess. So a dot name is equal to b dot name. Okay, so now let's see if we are getting the correct input. Incorrect syntax near a. Okay, a dot, okay, here it is, and is missing. So now let's see if we are getting the correct output. So yeah, if you see now, Alice 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and Bob 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and Charlie 3 to 4, and David 1 to 2, and all the required output we are getting. So now this output we have got. So now let's remove distinct and see if it's working fine or not. So even after removing distinct also it is working. So what we have to do now, we have received the required output. So now let's join with the trip data. So inner join trip B on a dot a dot start point is equal to b dot order. Okay, now let's run this and see what we are getting. Incorrect syntax. Okay, because this order is a keyword, I have to keep it in brackets. So now if we run this, we are getting this required things, like Alice for A is Alice is traveling at A, Alice is traveling in B, Alice is traveling in C. So now with this city column, I will take the count of so B dot city comma count of 1 as CNT, and v dot ct I will keep it in a group by v dot ct. So now if you run this, what is the output? So you are getting 2, 4, 5 and 2. Since this is the, so this count is nothing but the number of seats that are occupied, but we want the number of seats that are available. So 5 is the total number of seats. So 5 minus occupied seats will give you the seats which are available. So 3103. So this is the output. So hope you all understood the solution. So if you are not understood, I will suggest you to go through the solution once again. Just rewind and watch this solution again. So this is the first approach, which is a little difficult because we have to use the recursive CT and all, lot of difficulties there, and this is a very hectic approach. So now the second approach I'll explain you using simple joins, where you will be able to solve this. So now let's go to Excel and understand what is the approach there. So the second approach, again we have the same input tables. So again in the second approach we have to create this table with the start point and end point. So now instead of creating a recursive CT and getting from all the entries between 1 to 4, like 1 to 2, 2 to 3 and 3 to 4, what I will do is I will do a cross join between this table and this particular trip table. So if I do a cross join, what will happen? So Alice, this entry will be coming 5 times, right? So A, B, C, D, E and E. So what I'll do a filtering condition in such a way that only 3 rows will be coming. So 1, 2 and 3 should come. So 4 and 5 will not come because Alice started only from 1 and ended at 4. So the start point should be here starting, and end point, the city before the end point 1, 2, 3 should only come. So I will show you how we filter out the rows when we explain you the solution. So basically here we have to do a cross join, and the cross join should be filtered out in such a way that these cities should be shown wherever the Alice has traveled. Okay, so Alice has went down at ED4, that means the city at city D he has dropped, I mean he left. So here city D as an entry will not come, so only ABC will come. And similarly for Bob has traveled B and C, so only B and C should come, and Charlie has traveled only C, and David has traveled A and B. Okay, so now let's now from this solution, so from this I'll do a from the city using this city column, I'll take the count of rows. So from, if I take the count of rows from the city column, I'll get the number of seats occupied, and I'll just simply subtract it from 5, and I'll get this output. So now let's go back to SQL Server Studio and see how to solve this. So this approach is more simpler one than the recursive one which we have used earlier. So again this is the entries, and as discussed, we have first again from this journey table where you have the start point and end point with the city names, we are replacing it with the order. So how do we replace it? We have in the previous approach I have explained you, using the left joins we will replace it. So till that the solution is same. So if you see again here, for each and every passenger I have replaced with the order. Okay, now we have to do the cross join. So here A cross join, or we can, let's use simply left join only, no worries, left join trip B on 1 is equal to 1. So if we write simply 1 is equal to 1, it will act as a cross join. Okay, now let's see what we are getting. So if you see for Alice, you are getting all the 5 rows, right? Because we are doing a cross join, so all the 5 rows are coming. But as discussed, we need to filter out D and E, because Alice has went down at D. He has, his last stop is at D, so D should not come and E should not come. Okay, so how do we do that? So we need to make sure that this order value is less than this ED value. So if we replace this, or if this order value is less than this ED value, these 2 rows will go away. Okay, so what we will do is A dot ED, okay, sorry, B dot order is less than A dot ED. So if we write this condition, what will happen? These 2 rows will go away. Now let's see if we are getting the correct output. So if we return, if we have once we have written this condition, so Alice you are getting 3 entries. But for Bob, if you see, Bob started at 2 and ended at 4. But here 1 also is coming, so this 1 also should go away. So one more condition we have to write is, this start point should be greater than this order value, and A dot um, sorry, this start point should be less than or equal to this order value. So a dot st is less than or equal to b dot order. So if we write this condition that the starting point number is less than or equal to the order, this row will go away and this row will come, because in the starting point the user, I mean the passenger has occupied the seat, so this row will come. So now after we have written these two conditions, let's see what we are getting. So if you see Alice 3 rows, Bob 2 rows and all. So cities, all data is coming. So now from this what I will do, simply b dot city comma count of 1, and here I will do 5 minus, because 5 seats are there and I am subtracting it, group by b dot city. Okay. So simply I will do this and write this. So 3103. So in this is where, in this way we can simply do this. So this is we have, let's apply some smart thinking, and so that instead of recursive CT and all, we can simply use this logic. But we need to understand, so this kind of solutions you will be able to solve only when in the joins, if you are able to use less than condition or greater than condition. So we are always used to writing is equal to condition in joins, but we also can use the less than or greater than also in the joins. So if you are able to understand that, you can simply solve this using this approach. So comment down if you have any other better approach, so that others will learn from it and get benefited from it. And if you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section. And if you like this, please click on the like button and also click on subscribe button for more videos. Thank you. Have a nice day.